Welcome back, MTG Joe here, and today we are starting off a new season on the ladder. I went in, I was going with the decay. I fell to like 1150 with 2 hours left, so I wasn't going to make it. Played a game, lost, won, lost, and basically I was 13-28. Went into a game of best of one before the time ended, won that game, but did it after the time, so I don't know if I made it or not. I assume so, but we'll see if it counts my win. It just shows 100% at that point. So what we have here is a historic deck today. This is a deck that I'm currently 6-2 in best of 3. This is what I kind of did some of my climbing with. It is a Selesnya green-white human company deck. And really, we're adding green to the humans deck for a couple new cards. We have Sigarda, Champion of Light, 4 mana, 4/4 flying trample that gives our humans +1/1. And then it has the ability Coven. So if we control 3 or more creatures with different attacks, so when it attacks, we get to look at the top 5 and put a human into our hand in any order. Notably, what I found with this is it dodges Anger of the Gods, and it's a nice evasive threat to kind of push through damage. We have Collected Company as well in the main board for our green splash. And we're doing that with the new Overgrown Farmland. It's a little bit more consistent than Sun Petal Grove in this deck. And then we have our basics and then some creature lands as well. We have a package for Ranger Captain of Eos, of Dauntless Bodyguard, Esper Sentinel, and 1 Giant Killer. I got rid of the one that makes the clue. It just largely feels underpowered. It's too slow in the format right now. We're playing Luminarch Aspirant, Thalia, and then some copies of Thalia's Lieutenant to make our team real buff and swole. And then we have another new card. So this was once the Skyclave Apparition that's now on the board. We have Brutal Cathar, which plays the similar effect of exiling. We get day or night, so we can transform it back and forth. And this also triggers our human synergies. Spellbinders attacks the opponent's hands. And then Adeline, Resplendent Cathar, just a nice beater that also dodges Anger of the Gods. So this is the main board. The sideboard, some Rest in Peace, Dromoka Command for fight, Gideon for the control matchups. I found Gideon to be better than Redain because Redain gets swept by the same Anger. So unlike Standard, where the sweepers are 4+ mana, in Historic you have Anger of the Gods that just gets it. So it doesn't really do too much in that regard. Knight of Autumn is a catch-all artifact or enchantment that we can hit off our Collected Company. I'm trying out some Fateful Absences in the sideboard. I had Declaration in Stone. I had Containment Priest, but I think with this, my 2 losses are to Grixis, kind of mid-rangey control, where I mulled to 5 and they thought seized me on turn 1, and I lost to Gruul Shamans, where they were on the play. Game 3 they just exploded, and having fight-based removal isn't as good when you're playing from behind. A card that actually has impressed me thus far is Selfless Glyph Weaver. We're really just playing it for its its white side. It is basically just a effect that we can keep on the board to exile to give our creatures indestructible, so it lets us either company to it or be more proactive with extending into board wipes. Skyclave Apparitions is some more just general exile, and then Yashard for the sack matchup. So new season, we'll give this a couple goes, see how it plays out. So it's not as aggressive necessarily as the mono white version, but I find it to be a bit more resilient. Collected Company lets you dig. The green cards are quite useful in the sideboard. The main thing we lose is Faceless Haven, which is a card that I've missed a bit. Just the creature lands aren't as consistent. The cave having to be 6 mana to work doesn't really help out. Gonna mulligan here, get the sands much better. I think in the dark we just put Giant Killer away. Our curve's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4 ideally. Shambles. So this is likely a sacrifice deck. Unfortunately, our board of X1s isn't going to do too well into this. See what they have here. Okay, so this is likely Citadel. We'll play this out. It just taxes them. I think I'm willing to offer this trade just because the life gain that this provides is how they kind of combo off. Right. So with Devil... don't want to do that because with the treasure they can sack. So they can sack at any point and deal 1 damage to me. So I think this turn... I think I need to Brutal Cathar. We'll probably trade Thalia off here, if offered. I'm gonna attack their hand next turn. Okay, Ghost Rider. That's quite annoying. That was a good last card. They can sack these to give the minus, and then just machine gun my board. Opponents had a very good start. And now they also get the Scry, they have Devil out, so we'll see what we hit here. If we don't hit a land, probably just going to concede this match. This deck's better against the control decks. Yeah, we'll just... Again, Devil is probably the worst thing for our deck. It's a repeatable way to just deal damage to us. In this matchup, I do want the Apparitions. This gets rid of an enchantment. So let's put these in. I don't think we want Rest in Peace. They typically don't play Cat Oven. I'll play some Fateful Absence. So get rid of Giant Killer. Let's see what we're cutting. The Spellbinders kind of suck in this matchup. Thalia also sucks. Probably just trim a Sigarda. Just some of our top end. So the downside, like we saw there, the downside of Brutal Cathar as opposed to Skyclave Apparition, we're in a better spot if they don't have the big boy out. Ranger, or Mayhem Devil. Also, the Esper Sentinel in this matchup's not that great. Here, we're just gonna do an aggressive Lieutenant here. It just fills out our curve a little nicer. And I do want to save the Cathar for something a little bit bigger. Okay, that's probably worth... They might have brought in Claims, so I do want to deal with the Priest here. Yeah, especially with Shambling Ghast. Yeah, it's a pretty nice curve. Still think we get rid of Priest here. I'm gonna offer this. They can trade. I'll keep the Lieutenant. I think that's fine for the most part. We can Collected Company. I think we're just attacking in here. I'd rather do this at instant speed, and then this also puts a tax on them, so it deals some damage. So they might have Collected Company of their own. So what I'm gonna do is actually take them off the Goose here. This forces, if they have company, they have to main phase it, which they don't. Okay, so we can do this. That makes our team bigger. Could do this. and then just get... I think we do this. I guess I could have done it the other way and we flip it back, but... here, let's... just go Skyclave. Differentiate our threats. Alright, that game went a lot smoother when they don't have a beautiful curve. I think we largely keep it the same. We'll just run it back. I don't want to go too overboard on 3-drops. While it does help when we have Collected Company, we aren't a Llanowar Elf deck, so it does make us a little worse. I did have some consideration to try Llanowar Elf in this build, kind of like the Green-White Company shells of past. Okay, this hand's good. Yasharn here helps. Stupid cast is really annoying. Innkeeper here. In case they have removal, get some damage in. This does play worse if they have Devil. Ooh. Okay, that's terrifying. So they can sweep my board here. I could Brutal Cathar. Coming down with Yasharn after this will be nice as well. So they do... Oh, protection from humans! No! Oh, flavor text. Flavor text. Oh man. That hurt. Be bad. They're just massacring me here. I want to go Yasharn here. Forces them to do this before it comes down. Could just eat removal. I need a Fateful Absence or an Apparition. So they kept the Priest, so they might have removal here. I wouldn't be surprised to see something like Noxious Grasp, Doomblade, something of that nature. See Gas. So the main phase Company. think we're just going to get the one without counters bigger. 2, 3, 4. No, so they can block all that. I could just make this Hydra bigger. Jeez, stop with the companies. Can't pay life or sacrifice non-land permanents to cast spells or activate abilities. I think that turns off treasure. I think here we're just going to pass the turn. Because I want to get these flipped so then I could flip them back and then exile something else. Should need like Sigarda or something. Something in the air. We're like uber dead if they ever find an answer to Yasharn. They have Citadel, we're also in a bit of trouble. See if they play a second spell and transform for us. We are flooding quite a bit. Perfect. So I think in the abstract, Yawgmoth's the worst. Because these can hit the Mayhem Devil. Sick. And then we play Esper Sentinel, we flip, we exile these two, and then we start attacking in. Nice. Score 1 for human beings. Yasharn, just a house. The piggy did its job. That matchup is very polarizing. I'm very surprised we didn't see an answer out of them in the form of like Noxious Grasps, something like that. They might have just not drawn into it, but they did see a good amount of their deck. I think this hand's fine. So here, depending what they lead off with, will indicate whether we go Luminarch or Thalia. Zombies. So I'm actually going to go Thalia here. The first strike is super relevant here. And I can go Ranger Captain next turn. I could do this to play around, but I think we're just going Ranger Captain this turn. I think we want Dauntless here. Dauntless being able to protect will be good. Next turn I could shock in, do Luminarch and Thalia's Lieutenant. Makes my board a little bigger. Death Baron. Take the damage here. +1/1 and have Death Touch. Nice. Don't need to shock. We do need an answer to this. But we'll see how they approach these attacks. I am just getting to the point where I can fly over top of them. I'm probably going to protect Thalia and then just load up counters on it. The first strike holding back this Death Touch board is relevant. Or not. Probably willing to trade, but we'll see. Probably willing to take another attack here. Okay, well, if they refuse... to attack... So I can go Esper Sentinel, but I actually think the bodyguards are just more effective here. Here... I'll just pass the turn. Next turn I could shock in and just start attacking in the sky. We can put counters on it and just make it really big. You are a beholder. Target creature gets XX, where X is the number of zombies you control. Well,
immortality is worth any cost.
It's going to be a bit of a problem. Sure.
Oh, they're overwhelming, aren't they?
I think we're okay. Just starting to push through some damage. I guess that does take that out, so it's a little poor, but something we're gonna have to deal with sooner or later. Okay, so they're taking the one on this ranger captain, so we still have our bigger one left. Sigarda, Collected Company, Brutal Cathar. All this Death Touch on the ground's obnoxious. Augur lets them draw cards. Reaver. So they're going wide. Beautiful. So we're gonna do this. Sorry, my dog's on the other side. Come inside. Come inside. Kind of want to flip this. Lord of the Accursed. Giving Menace is relevant. What else you got? Another Reaver. I think their attack with Myra Triton's pretty free. One, two. I want to flip this. That might be aggressive, but we'll see how it plays out. Because this will tax them on some mana. And then depending on how they go, I can potentially kill them on the crackback. Okay, I go Rider here. This line also opens me up to get another flip on the Moon Rage Brute. I think this turn we do hold off. Give me a spell. You are not the spell I wanted. I think we need the land. So 1, 2. Because I want to flip this back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I can do both. Just gives me another blocker. No!
The etchings prove my immortality.
And they have enough for Menace. They hit their out here. I don't think I can do anything at this point with the Death Touch. We needed them to whiff. We also drew a lot of lands. Fateful Absence. Bring in these. Don't think we want Giant Killer. Thalia's okay, and I imagine they're gonna bring in more removal. The Adeline seems kind of whatever in this matchup. The flying seems relevant. These Spellbinders could come out. They seem bad. Do I want an Adeline over an Esper Sentinel? We're pretty heavy on 1s. Or on 2s. Play that. That gives us a nice density of Coco. Maybe an Adeline on the play. Let's go down to 2 Thalias. Doesn't do a huge amount, but we can do a good job of like taxing or getting around with Indestructible, but the Liliana happening to -1/1 is annoying, as well as just the Death Touch. We'll have now 5, 9 removal spells. Get rid of their lords, get rid of their big stuff. I think this hand's fine, largely. I want to get just aggressive here. They have Ghoul, Champion of the Perished. So I'm going to lead on this, just in case we draw Dromoka's command. Probably exile the champion. Okay. I'd kind of like to not draw nothing but lands, but it's where we're at with things. given that... This is better if they have a Lord, but I can just attack him next turn. And also flip my Brutal Cathar. They have Blood Chiefs, so their removal, this doesn't work. Murderous Rider gets it. Really like Collected Company. That'd be swell. Ghast is annoying. Sigarda. Yes, please. So a trick you can do is if you don't have Coven, you can activate the Lair for 1, paying itself the mana. And then that lets you get Coven. See what they do here. Perfect. Oh, you're still 2 mana. Yeah. I just want to get cards here. I will take you. This just makes everything bigger. Enters a battlefield with a 1/1 counter on it for each creature, for each zombie in your graveyard whenever you cast a zombie spell. Blast from the past. Let's go Esper Sentinel here. I think I'm cool offering this in a trade. At this point, if they have creature-based removal or whatever, we're drawing a lot of cards. And if they multi-block my 1-drop, I'm happy with that. Sigarda showing why it's a very powerful card in this shell. What this does do is let them get a treasure. Deal with that. This lets me hold up if we draw Dramoka's command. So if they go Liliana here to get rid of my Sigarda, if they go removal spell, it all plays really well. There was a case to taking what's its name? Ranger Captain to get another Dauntless to protect my Sigarda. Crippling Fear. That doesn't do too much, friend. You killed 2 creatures. The important thing is we do need to play around that. So being mindful of overextending with them having Crippling Fear on the board, we need to make a big board. We can exile the Diregraph. Ooh, Coco. I think just getting rid of Diregraph here is pretty safe. I want to protect my Sigarda. So they can do that. They just get back a 1/1. Carry me, Sigarda. Okay, so if they're on the Crippling Fear plan, the --/ doesn't really help, so I think we're just largely running it back. Hope our curve works out well. This matchup for both of us, we're very much synergy-based decks, so whoever gets their pieces together, them being on the play, does have an advantage. So we are looking for a hand ideally with copies of our exile effects, or something like Dramoka's Command of the Creature. Thalia's Lieutenants getting each other big also will help. A hand with lands probably would be something I'd consider. I'm gonna put Adeline back. Doesn't do too much on its own. And Collected Company just digs deeper. Ranger Captain also represents 2 bodies. I'm probably gonna be aggressive early with trading. In particular because we don't have an exile effect. Okay, they went to 5. That's good. That's pretty scary. Just gonna prioritize this because it can draw us a card. We just tax their mana on a multi 5. I think we're gonna do this. Just keeping this higher if they have removal for Brutal Cathar. So this gets them out of... I think we're just gonna flip here. So while I could get in for 4 points of damage is appealing. Yeah, let's do that. If they want to trade the Colossus, they can. It's a bit iffy. I think if you are running into creature heavier meta, you're gonna want the words Elite Spellbinders in the sideboard because they're not as good in these creature matchups. Flip here, and then I could collect a company. And then I can do this as 2 spells afterwards. Esper Sentinel also draws us cards. Liliana doesn't kill this on its own, plus they're gonna have to take 3 damage. Show me what you got. Could be some sort of reanimation spell. They could be on Crippling Fear, so there was a point to making this 4 toughness. That looks nice. Get Dauntless here. Protect this. And then upkeep, sack this, so if they have Crippling Fear, they don't wipe my board. Victory! Ranked up. So yeah, that's the deck. We took down 2 creature decks there, which was quite impressive. Like I said, this has a very good control matchup I've found. You're just able to tax them on a lot of different axes. I like the inclusion of Fateful Absence there. Just having more 2-mana answers. The 1 Giant Killer's fine. The Bodyguards continue to impress. This really is good in the control matchups, but in the kind of these grind them out creature matchups. Saw Sigarda do its thing, but it's a deck. Let me know what you think, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great one.